Well, Max, first and foremost, welcome back. When you went on the IL, I think everyone thought this was going to take much longer than it did. When did things really just turn the corner for you and you knew that this timeline was probably going to be a little quicker than you expected?
I mean, it was really kind of just a couple of days afterwards. They said I was going to be on crutches for 2 to 3 days, and the next day I was kind of, my first question, as I always ask, is, can I make it worse? And they said, unless I recreate, the trauma of the injury, I'm not going to make it worse. And so when they told me that, immediately I was like, all right, well, let's start pushing forward here. Got rid of the crutches, just started trying to get, strength in the quad, try to, just do little things that they would allow me to do. And, after about a week, I felt like I was walking pretty close to normal. And that was when, I knew we had a shot to come back a little quicker than what they originally said.
Offensively, you were on a tear before you went on to the IL. And even defensively, you'd gotten yourself in a position, making really good plays. Have you felt that now, whether with the rehab assignment, with different at-bats, you feel like your swing and kind of things are back to where they were before?
There's no way to really tell until I get out there tonight. Body-wise, I feel like I'm in a great spot. In the box, things feel good. The first couple games on rehab assignment, there's, a little thing off with my swing. We were able to identify that with the data and made the quick adjustment. And, after that, the next, 6-7 at-bats went really, really well for me. And, that to me told me that I was in a good spot. Some of the swings I was taking, balls I was fouling off, balls I was putting in play, just, those are the things you try to focus on. For me, it's trying to get as many swings off as I could to see exactly where I was at. And, that's why you would maybe like a little bit more time to refine the approach after you know that your body's in a good spot. But for me, I'd rather be up here, and so it's a good time to return.
How much were you tested defensively? How much trust do you have that the knee can do what you want it to do at third?
I got several plays down there, and a couple on the run, a couple where I had to plant. And then just all the work we've been doing on the side, in terms of the rehab progression. It feels sturdy. It feels like it's in a really good spot, and it's, running the bases feels like it's in a good spot. I feel like I'm moving well, and, I don't feel like I'm holding back on anything.
The offense has been scuffling a little bit since you left. Is there a feeling that you need to come back and maybe do too much, and how do you fight that?
It's simple. We have a really good team. It's the boys have been scuffling a little bit, but they're as good a lineup as any, with or without me in there, and it's it's one of those things where I just try to add a little length, just with my skill set, what I do. See a lot of pitches, get on base, work some walks, and hopefully do some damage here early, and it just allows everyone else to just kind of relax and reset a little bit, and hopefully just breathe a nice little breath of fresh air into them.
And you're in the 5-hole starting off right back at it. It's not like, ease yourself into this. You're going right at it, right from the start.
Well, that's the first time I've heard I'm in the 5-hole tonight, so it's
Sorry.
No, I mean, I they told me I was in there, but I hadn't seen a lineup. I've been busy trying to get stuff done, and so it doesn't matter where I'm at in the lineup. I just try to do my job and help the guys out.
Does the pregame routine look a little different right now, or just kind of treatment-wise? Do you feel like you are past that, or is it something you still have to do to maintain?
The pregame routine right now is the same as it was before I went down. The amount of ground balls, the amount of swings, everything's back up to where it was before. And that was part of the rehab progression, was just, especially with swings, trying to build up, the swing quantity. And then once you get there, we'll focus on the swing quality. And so it's a time-consuming process, and it's one of those things where that's the one thing that slowed it down, was just trying to build the strength back up in the body to know that you can go out there and let it rip, several times a night, and you got to make sure you get that trust back in yourself.
You mentioned at the time of the knee injury, you flashed back to the arm injury in the last day of the season against the Rockies, and how blessed do you feel that you are back and that you have the 2 months to ramp in and have a full playoffs and not have to?
You have no idea. As I was laying there on the ground that night, I thought for sure this is it. And at that time, obviously, you get a million things start going through your mind, and obviously they're all the worst. It's hard to stay positive in a moment like that, but just extremely thankful and blessed to be able to be back on the baseball field this year. And to me, I'm going to try to enjoy every second of it, just knowing how close it was to not being there for me.
How important is to actually have that patience, mentally, physically, knowing that the postseason is in a blink coming soon?
It's a long season, but it's a short season at the same time. 162 is a lot of games, but the end of it does tend to come before you know it. And, we're starting to rapidly approach it. We're in August now, and it's, for me, it's just trying to get some rhythm back, get back out there, get some games underneath my feet, and, hopefully help these guys win some games.
Max, was it not until the MRI that you thought, oh, this is it? Or were there some things that you were able to do with that knee leading up to it, or initial evaluations that gave you some hope?
As I told the story before, as I was laying on the ground, my first thought was I got to get off this field so Kersh can keep pitching. I didn't. He was obviously going for a big milestone that night, so I was trying to not slow him down in any way. And so my first thought was, get me off this field, and then we can evaluate down underneath. And once we got underneath, they immediately start yanking on your knee to see, they try to feel the attachments and see, how does the strength feel and everything. And as they were doing that, that was kind of the first, sign of hope for me, because it didn't feel how they were explaining it should have felt. And so for me, that was kind of maybe this isn't quite the end. But
what did you feel? That how are they saying that you should feel, and what
they're sitting there, if you have an injury, they're sitting there yanking on the spot that hurts, and it wasn't hurting as bad as what they said it was. They said it would be excruciating pain, and I wasn't feeling that, and they kept reiterating that it feels strong, and that was to me the first sign that like I said, there might be some hope that the season's not lost. And then there was a little swelling, but they said it would have swollen up like a balloon if it was worst case scenario. And so just obviously if you still have some swelling in there, so you don't always take that one for granted. And but with the MRI not being until the next day, it was a long night for sure, just laying in bed thinking of the possibilities of what might happen.
Were you surprised that you could come back this quick?
I mean, sure. Like I was just saying, I'm more thankful and just blessed that I get to be back on the baseball field, and I didn't care what the timeline was for that, as long as it was this year. But I feel like I'm in a great spot. The body feels like it's in a good spot, and so it's time to get back out there.
Max, that pitch recognition's always been one of your calling cards. Is that something that comes back immediately, or is that something that takes a little bit of time?
Well, I hope it comes back immediately, but it's probably going to take a couple of games. You miss over a month of games. It's not just going to be right there instantly. Obviously, I'm going to hope it is, and there's always a chance that it is. But tonight's not the easiest test. Sonny's mixing it a lot, and he's got really good stuff. And he's always given me trouble in the past a little bit, and so maybe not the easiest test to come back on. But that's why you want to play up here. You want to face the best guys, and Sonny's definitely one of them.
How would you describe everything that 2025 has been to you this year?
It's kind of a whirlwind. We've been doing a lot. We've been having all the ring ceremonies for past players. We've been hitting some milestones, celebrating a lot of good moments on the field, and that's the stuff you try to cherish. It's a long season, and it's a grind, and there's going to be a lot of ups, there's going to be a lot of downs, but you try to hold on to the moments that you're going to cherish the most, and there's a lot of good ones of those with this team, and so that's what you focus on.